Hello, guys. Welcome to another driving test video. So, the video we're watching today was a test at Rotherham Driving Test Center on Monday, the 10th of June 2024. And this was a first time attempt with a pass. So, only 4 driving test faults during this test. One was for clearance, the other was for control steering, one for position during normal stops, so you're pulling up on the left, and the last one was for progress undue hesitation. This was a very good one. I mean, always happy and excited when we have a pass, of course. And yeah, let's watch the video and see if there are things we can learn, because remember, there's always something to learn. So yeah, let's see what we can deal with. Let's see what we can learn from and see where the faults happened, if possibly we can find or pick them out in this video. So yep, and then as we go along, of course, as usual, if there anything from the video that I think I can, bring a little bit of opinion or shed some lights on, then I will do that. But keep in mind, I cannot think through your thoughts. I don't know what's in your mind. I don't know what you might have a question about. So the only way I can know that is if you leave a question in the comment below, and I'll try my best to get to them. So keep in mind, doing that also helps the video, the algorithm shares it to more people, and by so doing, maybe I might just put in more effort to doing more videos for those centers, because I don't want to be wasting my time doing videos that doesn't really get viewed by learners, which obviously doesn't impact more people. So I would spend time on centers that I feel would reach out to more people, because then that also makes my time worth it as well. So yep, that is it. So let us get into the video and see how the test went. So the first driving fault was at this point. Even though the positioning to the pavement or from the main road was perfectly done, however, the driver pulled up opposite other parked vehicles when there is actually a better space ahead. Now, situations like this, keep in mind, if you've got space in front of you, drive forward and avoid double parking. Keep this in mind. If that was the only option to pull up on that road, then that would have been a different story. It could have been okay. But because there was clearly an opportunity to drive a little bit forward and open up that space, which she didn't, so she gets a minor fault for that situation. Now, keep in mind, just to remind you again, this is not my opinion. This was actually stated by the examiner at the end of the test. when pulling up next to bushes like this, remember that this is an exercise and your examiner is not going to be exiting the car. So don't be wary of the bush and leaving so much space for the examiner to be able to come out. They're not going to come out, so use up that space so that you're not blocking the main road. Get as close as possible as the learner has done here, which is really good. And yeah, you'll be fine. So don't forget, you're not leaving the car, because I know at some point some people might be overthinking and worrying, or I'm trying to leave a bit of space for the examiner to come out in case they're not coming out. So yeah, close up to that, pull up normal to the left, and keep the main road free so that traffic can pass you. And right here is where the learner was given a minor fault for appropriate speed, so for progress. And I can remember vividly when the examiner explained that. Now, what happened here is if you look on the sign here to your left on the pole, we've got the sign advising you for the bend to reduce speed, and then on the floor as well, sorry, advising you of the bend, and then on the floor you've got the slow sign. Now, already before this point, the learner wasn't actually making much progress in terms of speed, but then she sees that slow sign and then drops that speed even further down below 30, and that was the problem. Remember that seeing that slow on the floor is just reminding you, if you were actually driving on the upper 30, just giving you a reminder to reduce your speed as you're coming through the bend. You see this sometimes as well on a 30 road, and you might see, you know, maximum speed through the bend 20, stuff like that, but that's just advisory. But for you that's already doing 30 miles, your speed probably at that point is appropriate for that situation, and you should not be, you know, exaggerating the situation, or sometimes, like in this case, lack of understanding. So keep this in mind, and that's why the minor fault was given. Now, on the other hand, should there have been more vehicles behind who would have been impacted by that decision, that could have easily been a serious fault. So keep this in mind, be careful, and try and understand the signs on the road. And right there was undue hesitation, but the examiner did not give any fault there. So, yeah, lucky. This is one of the cases, like I always say, some people might give a fault for some situations, why another examiner might not. Depends on who you've got through. Depends again on how the examiner assesses, or how serious or not the examiner sees the situation. Everyone's judgment can be different in some situations, and this is one of the examples. So yep, keep in mind, with someone else you could get minor faults there, because that car from the right had the signal on, and after the car turns we were still there for another 1 or 2 seconds without moving off that junction. Plus, if there were traffic behind, that could also be a different story. So yeah, that would have been more easier to give that minor fault, definitely, if there were traffic behind. So this is where your luck comes in as well. And right here is another situation where an undue hesitation driving fault could be given as well. So keep in mind, we got to this junction, and as you can see, the distance from those cars are quite safe enough for us to be able to go through the junction safely. It takes only about 1 to 2 seconds to cross that road, and it took about, I'd say, maybe 3-4 seconds or so for those cars to actually get to where we were. So yep, keep things like this in mind. Don't wait unnecessary at junctions, because if the traffic was busier, or there are more traffic around or behind you, that could start to change situations for you, and you start racking up faults that are not necessary. And keep in mind that once you start getting consecutive faults or repeated faults on same thing, then it is possible for you to get a serious fault once it's 3 or 4 of the same faults. So keep this in mind. And be very careful with double parking, because the situation we just left just now, had it been that the silver car parked up on the pavement was not actually parked up over the pavement, then that would have actually prevented that red car that passed from passing, as the space or the width of the road would have been really small for passing vehicles to be able to pass through. So be very careful. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what the parked cars are doing and what that would mean for other road users when you're pulling up. If there are spaces ahead of you, use those spaces to better create a better space for other road users. So at this point, they are now heading back to the test center. So time has gone so quick as usual. So keep in mind, don't be too terrified. The test is going to go so quickly. Now, this test has actually gone quite very well. So apart from those few points noted, some situations we managed to avoid minor faults. But luckily, we haven't had a situation where, a serious fault was luckily missed, because sometimes it happens where learner could have gotten a serious fault, but examiner actually didn't mark it, either because they probably didn't see the situation, or the way they analyzed the situation was maybe different from what we see in the screen. So yeah, but this was not the case in this video. So everything was very nice, apart from those couple of hesitations and the pulling up situations that you should be aware of. So keep this in mind. Be very cautious when you're pulling up on the side of the road. So your normal stops. If there are cars parked opposite where you pull up, before you stop, you should be aware of that, so that you know if it's going to be better for you to move forward a little bit, or if it's okay where you are. But keep in mind, this is always should be in reference to the space, the width of the road. In a normal road where the road is wide enough, two cars can park opposite each other without it hindering other road users from passing. But this, I'm speaking now in situations where the road is narrow, the width of the road is not so wide, then you should be aware of double parking in those situations, so you can avoid it if you can, if possible. And here, as they're coming to the test center, is actually where she got the last fault, which is control. So as she comes through to turn left here, the driver drives over the curb. So yep, and that was it. So that was control steering, and that was the last fault. So let's watch that. And then also, yeah, when they got in now, they came in and do the reverse bay parking. So let's watch how that went. And so that is the end of the test, and it is feedback time. So don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, please remember, click the subscribe button, help the channel, help me grow. And yeah, if you've got any other questions, or sorry, if you've got any questions at all, don't forget to leave a comment in the comment box below. And remember to like the video if you find this video helpful as you prepare for your test. So yep, I've got so many other program driving test videos and some mock not mock, and some test route videos as well for Rotherham. And if you feel maybe you want to try your luck somewhere else around Rotherham, then I have done some videos for Handsworth and some for Sheffield Middlewood as well. Those you can also look out in the playlist. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So stay safe, best of luck with your driving license, and most importantly, all the best with your driving test. So peace, one love, and I'm out.